Alright, so I just wanted to go on a little bit of a rant today. I was talking to some friends during one of my live streams, and we got on the topic of Resident Evil 3 Remake. And I, for a long time, actually thought that 3 Remake was better than 2 Remake, which is insane to say now. But I platinumed 3 Remake, and that's whenever I realized this game has no replay value. Like, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and granted Resident Evil 2 Remake was the first of the modern remakes, so it makes sense that they went really all out for Resident Evil 2, but Resident Evil 2 barely had any cut content, and actually had more content than the original Resident Evil 2 had. Resident Evil 3 not only cut content, it cut, like, very important transformations. Like, the clock tower is one of the most well-known cut scenes from Resident Evil 3 Remake, but it goes beyond that. They cut out game modes, like mercenaries, just nowhere to be found. Once you beat the campaign, you know what you get to do? Play it again. And you get to play harder difficulties, which honestly, once you unlock the bazooka, there's no reason to play. Once you have an infinite rocket launcher, there's no reason to play the game. And until you have the infinite rocket launcher, these hard difficulties are borderline unfair. Like they're just straight up not fair to the player. And I guess the same could be said about Resident Evil 4 Remake's Professional, but like, it is not the same as what Resident Evil 3 was doing to you, man. Like, I genuinely do not understand what happened. Alright, Resident Evil 2 Remake, fantastic. Resident Evil 4 Remake, absolutely amazing. Why did the one in between the two get so messed up? And actually, here, I'll tell you why. It's because of that mess, that dog horribleness, dumpster fire of a game, Resident Evil Resistance, a poor attempt at being Dead by Daylight. And they barely added anything to Resistance. Like, if you're gonna make a Resident Evil game, give us Resident Evil characters to play as. It was lame, and the killers weren't even good. Nikolai, let me play as Wesker, and I don't mean his sister. His sister sucks. And you know what? That isn't even a good enough excuse for me, alright? Resistance isn't a good enough excuse, because Resident Evil Village was amazing while they were making Reverse. And Reverse came out and sucked. It was horrible. But they were working on Reverse at the same time as they were working on Resident Evil 8. And 8 is amazing. So there's absolutely no reason why Resident Evil 3 should be as horrible as it is. Now, I can understand, like, I'm sure there's someone out there that's like, yeah, Resident Evil 3 Remake's S tier, dude. That's like my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. And we all know exactly why he likes Resident Evil 3 Remake. We all know why it's his favorite Resident Evil game. Anyways, I just wanted to bring attention, like it didn't already have a bunch of attention on it, as to how horrible the Resident Evil 3 Remake is. And having platinumed it, too, I have the platinum. It is definitely the worst out of the remakes. Resident Evil 1 Remake is infinitely better than 3 Remake. That's all I got. See you guys in the next video.